7 days recently updated to version 1.0 on both PC and console. So I thought it was a good time to look at all things vehicle. But today we are going to look at the bicycle, the mini bike, the motorcycle, the 4x4, and the gyrocopter. And we'll discuss how to get them in your game. So let's quickly look at each vehicle and its benefits. So I'm going to look at speed, storage, and the ability to navigate downtown. So this is first here, this is the bicycle. Speed, no, it's very, very slow. Storage, again, not much in the way of storage, just a single line, but it's better than not having any storage. The ability to navigate downtown, yeah, pretty good for that. You can kind of get into some tight spaces, get around pretty easily, and it's a lot better than just running everywhere, although it does take stamina to use. Next up, you've got the mini bike, which is just, the next progression up from this. The only benefit is it's got more storage, which is pretty nice, and you don't have to use stamina to go around everywhere. It's pretty comparable in terms of speed, but you can stick a turbo on this, which you can't put on this, obviously. The motorcycle is probably my favorite vehicle, just because for all those boxes, speed, yes, storage, absolutely. It's got plenty of that as well. Ability to navigate downtown, it's got that in spades. It can do it really, really well. If this is the last vehicle I get in my playthroughs, I'm generally happy. Next up, we've got the 4x4. It's a beast, look at it. It's huge, it's like a monster truck. So this has got, a speed, it's fast enough, it's fine. Storage, absolutely, it's like a mobile base. So if you're moving bases or something like that, or you're going on a big, big loot trip, it's great for that sort of thing. It also has a vehicle plow mod now, so you can do some serious damage to zombies with it as well, which is pretty cool. Only place it really falls down is the ability to navigate downtown. There's lots of kind of tight little areas that you have to get through, and this thing does not do a great job, and it tends to bang into everything. But other than that, it's got its benefits, and there's some people who love this, who don't like the motorcycle and vice versa. And then the final one's the gyrocopter. So speed, yep. The fact that this can just fly over all the buildings, it just cuts out everything. So yes, it can navigate downtown. Yes, it can get A to B the quickest out of all of them, just because it doesn't have to deal with terrain or zombies or obstacles. It does guzzle gas, but as long as you kind of get yourself in a position where you've got plenty of gas, this thing is absolutely great. But very, very much an end game item. So how can you get the vehicles? So like all things in this game, it comes down to magazine series. Vehicle adventures right here. You obtain the capability to craft the vehicles via reading these magazines. You can find these in places such as passing gas boxes, cars, normal bookshelves, book piles, and any other loot container you might get a crafting magazine from. You can boost your loot odds to get these magazines by perking into Grease Monkey as well. And with this magazine series, you unlock the bicycle and wheels at 5 magazines red, mini bike oil and gas at 20, motorcycles and stacks of gas cans at 45, the 4x4 is unlocked at 70 magazines red, and the gyrocopter is 100 magazines before you obtain that crafting recipe. One quick announcement I'll make here, early into the video for new players, you are guaranteed a bicycle after completing tier 1 quests. So even if you unlock the ability to craft one of these, you may want to hold off until you complete tier 1 just to save resources for something else, because you're guaranteed this bicycle. You can usually get tier 1 complete as early as day 3 if you focus on questing as a priority. So what is Grease Monkey? Let's have a look at it. Right here. Under the intellect tree, you can see Grease Monkey. So you've got level 1 bicycle mechanic. This is unlockable at intellect level 2. You can craft wheels and bicycle parts 33% cheaper. Repair kits are 10% more effective on vehicles. Then you've got mini bike master, which is unlocked at intellect level 4. So mini bike parts are 33% cheaper. Repair kits are 20% more effective on vehicles. Motorcycle maniac. Motorcycles are 33% cheaper. Repair kits 30% better. Truck nut. You guessed it, 4x4 trucks are 33% cheaper, and repair kits are 40% more effective on vehicles, and Avionics Wizard, repair kits are 50% more effective on vehicles, and of course you get that gyrocopter, parts 33% cheaper. So that's what Grease Monkey does. You don't need it to be able to craft these things, because that's done through the magazines, but it helps massively with the effectiveness of repair kits, and the cost of the recipe to craft these vehicles. Why don't we do a bit of science here? Let's get a respec elixir. Use that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this here motorcycle. We're going to do a bit of science here. So let's just take this for a little spin over to working stiffs. We're just going to crash repeatedly into this wall. So it'll take longer than I thought. Okay. So I've got 6 motorcycles here. I've just spent longer than I care to admit damaging them to the point where it's exactly 5% on each. So as you can see here, 5%. We are not perked at all into anything right now. We've got points available, but we haven't got anything into Grease Monkey, as we can see here. So what we're going to do, we're going to spawn in some repair kits. We're going to see here, 1, get it up to 30, 2, 55, so it's 25% of the time, is it? So 3, up to 80, so this one should get us all the way up, yeah? Okay, so that does 25% worth of repairs per time, unperked. So next one, as you can see, this is also on 5% HP. What we're going to do now is we're going to spend a point here and a point into Grease Monkey. Then we're going to see. So it's on 5% at the moment. So yeah, just 35%. It's gone from 5% to 40% with this one. 75% with 2 repair kits. Fully repaired with 3. So you can see the cost effectiveness there. Pick up that one. Next bike. Show you again, 5% durability. Let's go for intellect 4. Grease Monkey 2. Let's see here. Up to 50%, so that's 45. This next one should get us up to 95. Yep, there we go. So, again, you can waste a repair kit just to get up to 100. We were more or less there. It's interesting. Next bike, again, let's double check. 5% durability, lovely. So we now need to go to intellect 6. And Grease Monkey 3. For 30% more effective repair kits. Up to 60, so that's 55% already. 100% of 2. I mean, I think we've basically done our test here, but we might as well finish it. So 5% again. Grease Monkey. 1 repair kit. Up to 70% from 5%, so that was 65% repair. Obviously 2 will get us all the way. But 1 would have been sufficient there to really, get us driving again safely. Pick this up. Last one down. 5% durability. Grease Monkey. 5. Repair. That's done 75%, so yeah, 1 repair kit down to 5% durability. We're almost at max health again already. Obviously 2 to do it all the way, but there you go. That's an interesting demonstration of just how that works in practice. You can get to see it. So let's put the motorcycle back in its space here. Now we're going to take another forgetting elixir here. I'm going to grab a workbench. Hopefully it's usable. It is, okay. So if we read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as we can see here, let's just look at some basic things. So we got spring 3, short iron pipe 9, forged iron 7. So if we now go into intellect, get a point into Grease Monkey, 33% cheaper. You can see straight away this has all gone down. That was 7, that's 5. Short iron pipes are down to 6, so that's just how that perk works. And we can do that for all of them if you want, but there's not much point. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just reduces these down by 33% for each one. So Mini Bike Master, they're 33% cheaper. Motorcycles, 33% cheaper. So, if you want to save a few resources, it's another good way to do it. And if you also want the vehicle repair kit effectiveness. So that's how all that works. Now, when we're looking at things like the motorcycle, for example, you can see here there's lots of things that are required. So engines, batteries, and then if we want to do the chassis, things like mechanical parts, electrical parts. You're going to need headlights, more electrical parts, mechanical parts. And that's pretty common across all the vehicles, that type of thing. So if you're a new player, you may be wondering where to get these things. So the vast majority can be obtained through wrenching vehicles. Although things like duct tape are crafted from glue and cloth, and forged iron and forged steel are obviously crafted at the forge. But things like the batteries, the engines, the springs, the short iron pipes, the electrical parts, the mechanical parts, they can all be obtained through wrenching vehicles such as this right here. Now there is a perk that you can perk into to help with this, which is under the perception tree right here, which is salvage operations. So in effect, this just means you wrench more, you harvest more with a wrench, a ratchet, or an impact driver when you're wrenching things like cars, like air conditioning units, whatever it may be. You get a higher yield, you get more resources from it. But if you start wrenching these, you can see we're getting gas, we're getting polymer, we're getting cloth, we're getting iron, getting a headlight there, electrical part, mechanical part. So this is all stuff that's used for crafting vehicles. Spring right there, And if you're lucky, it's a percentage chance. It's not, guaranteed by any means, but you can get engines and batteries as well. You're not going to get it every single time. Like, I didn't get one then, but I promise you, that's where you get them from. And if you're struggling for some parts as well, Trader Bob is the trader who specialises in all things vehicle. So if we go into his compound, the hints are there. He's got all these kind of old vehicles knocking about. He's got a 4x4, he had a gyro there. There's a mini bike, there's a motorcycle. There's the bicycle. There's Trader Bob. Perfect example. So you can see here, he's got a lot of vehicle-centric things in this inventory right here. So he's got things like the mini bike handlebars. They are quite expensive for what they are, but if you've got the cash and you haven't got the resources, or you've obtained the chassis somehow, you can always check Bob for stuff like this. He's got engines, you can see here. So Bob's always worth a look for vehicle-centric things. So while we're here, I can also point out, Trader Bob sells gas 100 units per 90 dukes, unperked. So that's one way that you can obtain, gasoline here, or petrol as we call it in the UK. That's actually pretty reasonably priced, to be fair. And so, if you've got the dukes lying about, you could just buy it as and when you need it. But if we look through here, another way you can get gas. So we've covered wrenching cars. You can buy it from the trader. You can loot it from gas barrels and gas pumps, although you get tiny amounts out of them. Right here. This here is oil shale. If you pickaxe this, it'll go down in a vein. This will give you oil shale, which in turn can be turned into gas at a chemistry station. So this is what it looks like when you mine it. That's oil shale. And as it says here, oil shale can be found in the desert and crafted into gas at a chemistry station. So, if you focus a few mining trips over in the desert, just really focus on getting lots and lots of oil shale, then, that can set you up for a long, long time in the game. That's my preferred method. I like just to be in control of my gas supply if possible. It does mean needing the chemistry station, and also you will have needed to have unlocked at least the mini bike oil and gas at 20 vehicle magazines, because that gives you the gas can recipe. And then even better is the one at 45 magazines with the motorcycle and the stacks of gas, because the stacks of gas is just a lot cheaper to craft. Another thing you'll notice Bob had there is dyes, and you can actually dye your vehicles. I'll show you in a moment. That's useful for like a multiplayer. Say if you're playing with a couple of friends and you all have motorcycles, if you all dye them a different colour, you know exactly whose is whose without any confusion. And also, the motorcycle, for example, the red on the motorcycle just looks really cool anyway. So you can buy the dyes from the traders, you can loot them from like cardboard boxes usually, I think. Back over to 2.5's garage here. Oh no, the mini bike fell and it knocked... Oh no, they're all falling. Wheels as well, I probably should have mentioned wheels. You can craft wheels. It does take a bottle of acid amongst all this other stuff here. So acid is quite a precious resource. So if you can avoid using acid for wheels, I would. You can loot wheels from vehicles themselves, from passing gas boxes. You can buy them from traders. That's how you can obtain wheels. They're not wrenchable from cars despite what people think. And no, you cannot axe them up at the side of the road. Like this, if you axe or wrench this, it does not give you a wheel in vanilla. That only happened in the old Alpha 15, 16 versions and console, the old console version, as well as Darkness Falls currently does that. So I think that's where the confusion comes from. Vanilla, this will not give you anything other than polymers. You need to loot your wheels from cars, from passing gas boxes, or craft them using this recipe here. I said I'd show you some dye, so we can see here. Let's get a selection. So get an orange, a red, a blue, a brown, and a pink. We come here. Let's stick this on here. And it's quite subtle on the gyrocopter. It actually does the... Oh, I quite like that. It does the bars. The motorcycle looks pretty cool with a vibrant colour. Like, I quite like the red on it, because it makes this pattern look pretty sweet, I think. The mini bike... And a brown, have a nice blue bike. And you can give yourself a nice orange. Ooh, actually looks really nice. I like that orange. Very nice. Yeah, I think if I get a 4x4, I'm going to use the orange. Yeah, you just put them in there, you go to open, and there's a little cosmetic slot here. That's pretty cool. And I guess the last thing to cover off would be the vehicle mods, which I have got all kind of here in this messy inventory right now. Let me just tidy this up a bit. There we go, that's better. So the vehicles are as follows. They're all unlockable via schematics, by the way. You can loot these schematics from, bookshelves and so on. You can buy them from the traders. Or you can loot the full-on mods themselves from, passing gas boxes, the usual sort of thing. First of all, we've got the off-road headlights. Let's use the 4x4 to demonstrate this one. The 4x4 takes a lot of gas to completely fill up. I think it's 10,000 total. That will be full now, as you can see. So if we put the vehicle headlight mod in there, you can shift-click it into your modifier slot there. You can drag and drop it in if you want to. This is where the modifiers sit, right here. I mean, it just gives you bright headlights. That's all there is to it, but we can't really see the effect. I've just set it to nighttime. As you can see, pretty powerful. Let's try it without. See if there's much difference. Oh yeah, it's very noticeable. Fair play. Back to morning time. Yeah, that's your vehicle off-road. Supercharger is as it sounds. It just makes you go faster. Again, you just put it in. It is noticeable, that one. Especially on the mini bike, I find. It really makes a difference in that. The expanded seating mod. I think the bicycle's the only thing it won't go on. I think you can even put it on the mini bike. You can look and you get an extra little model at the back there. That's pretty cool. Oh, you can see it on the back of the motorcycle there as well. I do like the way they've done this these days. And this one already carries other people, I think, but it just adds it so you can have them in the back seat there. Can you see that? Adds these 2 seats at the back. And the gyro already has 2 seats, surely, but let's have a look. Yeah, already missed. Seats 2, it says right there. And this. Seats 4. With this. Seat 6. That's crazy, isn't it? We've got the reserve fuel tank mod, which will increase the vehicle fuel storage by 50%. So it just means it'll carry more for longer. The fuel saver is a huge one. Again, on the mini bike. We had a server once where we were all on mini bikes with fuel savers. We explored the whole map, basically, and we just never seem to run out of fuel. It seems to just really run efficiently in there. Again, yeah, it's just something to, you know, reduce it. You'd want that in the gyrocopter for sure, because this thing guzzles gas. And then the last couple, newer ones. We've got the vehicle armor mod, which is for motorcycles and gyrocopters. So we stick it in the gyro. It just adds this kind of sheeting over it, corrugated metal look. And it just means you can take more of a hit in that thing. Equally in the motorcycle, stick it on. Yeah, I think I prefer it without, to be honest. I think it's kind of an ugly piece myself, but hey, if it stops the vehicles getting banged up, it can only be a good thing. And then lastly, we've got this, which is specific to the 4x4, which is this vehicle plow mod. Oh, look at this thing. Isn't that incredible? So that just basically does a lot of damage to zombies. You can go around just taking out zombies with that thing, and it's a thing of beauty. So as we take off in the gyrocopter there, I'll say thank you very much for joining me. Really hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by leaving a like down below. Subscribe if you do want to see plenty more 7 Days to Die content on this channel. If I missed anything, let me know your top tips for vehicles from 7 Days to Die in the comments below. If you have any questions, please ask. Drop a like if you found this useful or entertaining, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.